I love the title "One Year Dark," it's like, that the whole world's been through this. We all know what that means when we hear when we understand the theater analogy and how that, applies to the entire world at this point. But yeah, here we have a photographer, videographer that has strung together their images, their moving and still images, into what amounts to be a narrative, a statement, about the year, the COVID year. And it was wonderfully done, showing the stillness and then going into movement of nature and whatnot. And I love the use of the music, the way everything was edited to where there was stillness in the music and stillness in the images, and how when there was movement in the images, there's movement in the music. It just made a very nice statement overall. And it gives you space to reflect on your own time during 2020 and what you experienced. And in a way, this film could be healing to a lot of people who watch it.
Personal introspection and look at, the year of COVID, or at least the year of like strict COVID lockdowns, and how dark that was, like tonally a dark reality, but also, the streets were bare, they were dark, they were blank, and going about day to day life within this dark mindset. There's a lot of social, political, and economic change during that time, as well as just like dealing with these like horrible hardships on a day to day basis. So I think it was interesting to look at that from a point of view that isn't my own. Um, but looking at that and seeing kind of like the monolith of how it all affected us, even in these different ways. Like there was a very similar, like, this is just dark. Like this is a dark time. And I think you established that really well in this piece. I enjoy this like memoir look at it. And I think it's really interesting, and I think you tackle this um, time period well and logically and emotionally as well, or rather with like a clear emotional pull and standpoint as well. So really well done.
The shots, how they did them, the effect that they put on them, added a lot of emotion. There was not only the beauty of this, but it felt very sad, felt very lonely. There was a heaviness to it because this was all done during the pandemic, and you got that sense. You got that sense of loneliness.
It had very much both a horror and an avant-garde feel to it, while also creating this sense of isolation and loneliness. Um, in the beginning, there was a lot of ambiguity when it came to seeing what this piece was, what this short was about. But as it went on, there were more clues that filled you in on. You realize, oh, this is about the pandemic, and I feel like it was very interesting the symbolism of light being a symbol of our society before the pandemic, and kind of just that jarring feeling of getting yanked into the darkness that was that sudden shift in our lives. It was a very interesting and artistic approach, and I definitely enjoyed it.
Beautiful music. They gave quite a somber, dramatic, nostalgic vibe, showcasing emptiness, stillness, the grayness with this monochromatic effects. And it's just lonely. And it is not only because of the scenes are lonely, but it really transmits this lonely emotion, feeling of darkness. And we have the trees with no leaves and things breaking. It's just tragedy. Referring to the COVID pandemic, and it is outstandingly well done with zero words and amazing piano tunes, and it's just perfect. I really enjoyed it.
I love the musical score. I believe that was by Bob Snyder, and he also did the sequencing, which I noticed, and I really liked the sequencing. of the visuals. I love the visuals and the light effects, like when there were street lights flashing on and off, and any of the effects that came with the visuals I really liked a lot. This whole thing, and I know this is part of COVID, but it just made me think about life in general with either no people or little people. Like sometimes I think as a one person you start to devalue yourself, but imagine if every one person didn't exist. That's kind of what this just really made me think about too. Not just the thought of being alone, sequestered, in a home by yourself during a pandemic, not able to leave. Quarantined is the word I'm looking for. But just like, the outdoors, being so quiet in the dead streets and all that, it's a little creepy and kind of makes you appreciate life a little bit more. But it was just great. It was a different take on remembering COVID during 2020. And I thought it was very unique and creative, and I liked it a lot.
Very good looking shots, very good looking pictures, and these like short little clip videos. Yeah, it's very visually pleasing, good to look at, a bit haunting.